performance reviews, tech and the news, whatever else I use as a muse. Hit subscribe, I appreciate the views. Influences interest on YouTube.
Welcome back, people. This is Influence. If it's your first time here, please think about subscribing, and sharing this video. I'm here with Meteor MTRM EX11. This is the newer version that they came out with. This is Maketoys. I know everybody says Maketoys, but from a great source, it's called Maketoys. So I'm gonna call it Maketoys. But anyway, yeah, this is in the Starscream wars that have been going on. I actually played the long game in the Starscream wars, and I never got a Starscream because I didn't really like the Takara's mold, the first mold. And then when they announced I was just waiting. I was waiting. Then Maketoys came out with theirs, and I liked the way it looked, but I still was waiting because I thought maybe Takara would come out with another one, and they did, and it looks great, and I like it, but I don't like it for $300. I don't like it $150 more than this. Like, that's crazy to me, and I don't even know if it was $300 or whatever, but it's just, there's some things I like better here, and there's some things I like better on there. But like I said, it's not worth the money to me to get a Takara product when this looks great. I like the legs. I like the way it looks. I like the feel of it. And so it's my Starscream. So I played the long game, actually, and it worked out in my favor. And I don't usually do that. So we can get into this right now. I like it. There are some issues right off the bat. I can tell you, I can't get these to close. You can see them, show them better. There's little gaps here. You can get that better if you close it correctly. But this little gap right here, it's hard for me to get, and I don't know why I close it. I think maybe that peg is too small and it just doesn't close tightly, or maybe I need to screw it in more. I don't know. But you can see, looks like Starscream has great jet mode. Underneath, looks like Starscream. Great colors, great paint. Love the paint. These are a little floppy. That's another complaint. Just mentioning it. It doesn't, it's not a deal breaker or anything. I'm not going to have it in this mode anyhow. But I may possibly, the jets were the jets. The Seekers were always in jet mode a lot. Well, not always, but a lot. So I could see somebody displaying it like this. So I mentioned it. This is floppy. As long as you don't mess with it, it'll be all right. This is a little floppy. Not sure what you can do about that. These are pretty good. And they actually, I like that they move a little bit. They're a little too tight. Sometimes when you try to move them back down or up, you got to move them at the right angle. Sorry about that. This right here doesn't always stay shut as it should, like the gold paint, paint, red stripes. I meant to put stickers on because I like this figure a lot, so I'm going to keep it and put stickers on it, but I did not yet. You also get a gang of accessories. You get this, which is pretty smart, and I kind of like it. It's made to go on Maketoys' or Maketoys. Let me call it Maketoys. Let me stop. That's what they want to be called. That's what they're called. So it goes on their Megatron, and you just slide it in the wrist, and it looks like he's grabbing Starscream. And this just goes on where the head goes on. It's just a ball peg. You just plop it on there. You have two blast effects that can go on the null rays. And there you go. The blast effects on the null rays, they don't really look that great. Robot mode, I guess they could. You also get these, which I do like, where you can switch out. Okay, the landing gear, that's a problem. Landing gear doesn't stay. It doesn't move because it's not real. It's not real wheel. But yeah, with these, you just pull that out, put that in. Look when they transformed into, you can see it from above. It's like a bombing. See those. And we got landing gear right here at the knees, landing gear right here that pops out, just comes out. It can go in and out. And not real working wheels, so they're just for show, just to be on there. And you get 6 faces, including the one that's on him. These are the original ones that came with it, I assume. And they're like that dark gunmetal gray. Here you have this one. I think I put the smirking face on because I wanted him smirking. Then you get these, which are lighter gray, but they don't look like the same quality. They almost look like somebody 3D printing them. And nothing against 3D printing. Seen some actually full printed Transformers that look way better than these faces to me. Not this in 3D printing. It's just an observation that those don't seem as high quality as the other faces. Now, as far as anything else that's different, I don't know. I can't tell you because I don't have the first version. Have the box going on. Got some art on the side. I like that you have him on here. Then you have back here, got some poses happening. And that's pretty much it. Didn't come with instructions. That's a gripe. So basically, shout out to T-Man. I used his transformation video to figure this out. It's not really super difficult, but I did need something. The 360, since it's kind of like tradition now to get the spinning. And yeah, I like the thrusters. Almost took off. Here we go. I like the way it looks. Do the wings first. I get these out the way just because you easily rip them off. I'm just gonna go through this pretty quick. It's not, has some tricky parts. Open that there. There's a peg right there. Actually on mine, paint's rubbing off on there. Doesn't look bad on here, but it's just probably painted inside too. Then there's a peg there that goes in there. It doesn't always fit great. Peg in there. And there's a peg. It comes in and sits in there like that. So you can move this up. I just peg it in now just to get it out the way. And then you move this up, move this like this. And there you go. Oh, and the wing fillers. I forgot. I think on the first version, they didn't come with these wing fillers. And then they started selling them. And then they got backlash because, of course, like you should get backlash if you're selling somebody something that's incomplete. And then you try to sell them the piece to complete it. So then they started putting the fillers on there, I think, and these came with the fillers in. So that's that. So pull that out, flip that up, flip this, actually flip these first. That's why I flipped it over there, because it goes on top of that. So you can just get it like that. I just leave it like that so it's out the way. That's the final position. Then I bend this a little bit. You can get this out of here. Peg there, goes in there. Flip it up. I just leave it up. So now we can fool with this. Get these out. Fold this down like that. Fold these down like that. Then I lift this. You can actually split it as well. I like to get these legs out the way. So in order to do that, there's a peg here. and a peg here on this skirt to get it out. And I just unpeg it because you want it to move freely. And then I'll just pull this down, which is the waist. Once you unpeg, you see those pegs, they go into the peg holes right there. Once you unpeg that, then this can go down and you can just move this for free and get it out the way. Move this up. It's on a double hinge pole thing, for lack of a better term. So then you accordion it. And now this right here should be like this. Mine, when I got it, it wasn't. It was sticking all the way up into the back of the knee. I didn't know what that peg was for. I kind of figured it out. That was for pegging in the stuff, of course, because it's a transformer. But I just didn't. I wasn't sure what position it should have been in, because it does move. It can move independently. But it should be in that up position like that because it's going to peg here. So then you move this fin all the way up and you flip this down, flap that in there. And there's a piece right here that you pull up. Watch this because it's flimsy and you could easily break it off, but that piece comes up and goes into here. Top right here pegs into there. So once you can get all this done, oh wait. Yeah, I think it should be folded down. I don't know what I was doing, but I kind of get it pegged in up top first, and then you can try to maneuver it into that peg. That's pretty much it. Then I move this. Well, you can move these, and these feet are another thing. They're pretty hard, but you can get them in the right position. Then you move them out like this, and you can move this to have a better heel spur, have it farther back. But your feet are fine as long as you keep them in the right position. There we go. As long as you keep these feet. They were like kind of in, so he didn't stand up as well. But you can pull them all the way out and have them different ways. So you have one leg done. So let me try to show this over here a little bit better. Fold that down like that. Fold this up. Don't forget, lift this up. Then accordion this down. Up, and you can see what I'm talking about when I was talking about that joint. You see how it's lifted up? That's how it was when I first got it, but you have to make sure it's like that. So now that's how it should be. Then you close this, flip this up like that, and I try to get this in or lined up at least. There we go. Then you want to get this in there. Then these just flap over, and you can forward this, pull it out. I kind of bend it on the rocker. Get that where you need it. You can do it like before you close up all this, and you can close up the landing gear. And the landing gear goes all the way in sometimes and like flips around. You can see now the upper body. A lot of stuff going on here. What you want to do first, I'll take care of the arms. Lift this up, tab there, tab there. Doesn't go all the way up. I think some people said they thought it went all the way up. I saw that, but it doesn't. So then you just flip this out and move this up. Do it now so I don't forget. Then I'll just leave this out. Move this up, and I'll just leave these out. Now you have all this to contend with. First, you want to get these skirts down. I think on the old one, maybe they changed this because I saw people's came out easy. Mine's never came out. I don't know. Mine has never came out. I don't know if they have it a different way or what, I'm not sure. But then you want to pull this down, and this part you want to move like that and then move it up like that. And again, move this down, move this up, then move this up again like that, because eventually it's going to, then that's why I have this down, because eventually it's going to slide in to the nose cone where you're about to do. So now you can work on the nose cone. You just flip that up. I like to get this first, because then you got to move this around, just so I can remember to move that around. And you move this and move this around. That, so you can get it around all this. It's kind of tight, but what you're gonna do, you pull this up, you see all this, and then you flap this around, and eventually it's gonna sit up here like that. But first you want to pull this up. These two things right here go into the side. It's like soft pegs, but you want to get that up so then you can reveal his head. Then move that back. Make sure you pull this up, then you can move this into here like this. And there we go, right there. And then you have it like this, and you can move this down here. It's on this hinge right here where you want to move it down and move this up so it sits in the right spot. You can see it's in the right spot. Then this, I forgot to move up the landing gear, but it don't matter. You can it just goes like that. Here we go. So like it sits down on that double hinge. It's just cleaner. It doesn't stick out behind his head. So then you got this to contend with. You see that peg hole there? They're on both sides. This is why you made this like this. You slide this in and put it right there. Then these, of course, peg right there. You can get it. There we go. Do the other side the same way. Pegged in, pegged in. Now move this up in order to get the waist where you need it to go, which is on that hinge, and slide down, and you see it. It doesn't connect. It's not a hard peg. Then the arms, you just move out, push the fist down, move the fist. Again, you move out, push the fist down, move the fist. I know off the bat, as soon as you get in the robot mode, some people don't like this. Doesn't bother me at all. But you can kind of maneuver these to cover it. I mean, the fist will be up a little bit more, and in the back, of course, you get that little hole. This doesn't bother me, and you definitely can cover it up like that if you want. It's still there. You can still see through it just because of the hole. To me, it's just there. What you gonna do? Doesn't bother me, might bother you, and it's fine if it does. Everybody's different. So yeah, then these just go wherever you want them. Then last but not least, you can hit the null raise, give him his final look. You can see he stands, well, he's a little forward, but you can get him to stand straighter. He stands fine on a harder surface. It's really this. But yeah, you can see he's pretty clean in the legs. He's clean in the front totally. Back is a little, it's got a little of that going on. Does have a butt flap. I know that rubs some people the wrong way. I don't know why they couldn't just fold that up, but it just would have been an extra crease, I guess. in the airplane mode, I would have been all right with the extra crease if they could have just folded that up further or slid it up, maybe put a slider in his back, or it would have slid up behind all that stuff. But they didn't, and I'm fine. I'm all right. It has great paint, great paint. So you see his face sculpt, elephant in the room. His head is a little small. Doesn't bother me, none. I think I like the way it looks. I like the way it looks. Like proportionally, he looks like he's beefy. Like I've seen dudes that were cocky and had small heads. So I think that's kind of how he looks. And I like it. It's cool. It's cool by me. But some people don't. So that's why I'm mentioning it. So we can go through articulation before we compare him to a couple things. First, see his head, as we're talking about his head. He does have the spring-loaded ears just because of transformation as they go inside. It goes all the way around. There's a screw hole in the back, but he can get side to side because it's on a ball peg. Down, up. The only thing I don't like is the actual ball peg you can see. I just think it's too long. His arm can get up that high. He can go all the way around. He does have to get the wings out the way. The wings do get out the way pretty good. This is what I was trying to show earlier. His arm, the null rays can get out like that in order to, like, say you needed a picture or something and you want to get his arm a certain way. It doesn't fall out easy, but it does fall. It can fall out depending on how you manipulate it. It's actually pretty tight in there. But again, his null rays can move like that. He has double jointed elbows. Good range. His fists move all the way around. He has the 3 fingers on one joint and then the pointing finger on another joint so he can point, and then the fixed thumb. He doesn't have a space to hold a gun or anything. So you can have him pointing like, wait a minute. And he has waist swivel. And waist swivel all the way around. So I'm glad they did that little split because it does give him waist swivel. These wings go like this all the way up. So you actually, depending on your pose, you can get it like his arm all the way back and have this wing above it. And it goes out about that far. Skirts, individual, go up. Go up. They do move up and down, and this is kind of loose, so it will come down sometimes. As long as you have it all the way down, it's okay. As long as you have this part, like the whole top. But I don't know what I'm gonna do about that. That's one of the gripes I have. But you can get all these skirts out the way. Get this out the way. He can do the hurdles. Get his wings out the way. Oh yeah, he does have a waist bend too, which is forward and backwards. And as you're manipulating it, this stuff will come off. It's not as tight as it probably should be, but it's not super loose either, if you can understand that. But yeah, with this, you can get him in what type of pose you need for a picture. And you can get these skirts out the way. You can manipulate them down and up and over in order to cover up that joint. Say he's like that or anything. And the reason this moving helps with that too. It's just super loose. It's just super loose, and I gotta figure out what I'm gonna do. But you have soft ratchets on the legs. Get them all the way up. And he can do the splits or the hurdles, I should say. These soft ratchets on the legs, they get in the way though. It's too, they're strong. I don't know if they need to be that strong. and he can do the splits fine. He has a double jointed knee, but it's not the greatest. You can get it, you just gotta maneuver it. It's a hard ratchet, so you get his knee all the way up. Just have to make sure. Swivel right there, no knee swivel. Feet are manipulated and they have inner on ratchets, which I think is cool. The second ratchet is on 2 ratchets actually. Second ratchet is a little harder. It's due to transformation to get his feet all the way in, but it does make for you to get it right. And these don't really move. Then you have the rocker. Probably my biggest complaint is the waist, like this sliding up and down, so it creates that little gap there. I think that's probably the worst thing that this has. Again, I am happy with this figure and I really like it. And it's not, you know, that's not to say that I can't like the new MP Starscream. But I weighed my options and I went with this one because I like some of the proportions better. So we'll compare him to the DX9 Megatron in the old mold of the masterpiece. I mean, this is no contest. Like, this blows this out the water. The old mold, this is just an old mold. This is the first, actually the first, I think this is the first MP I bought, and I bought at Toys R Us when they had MPs in the store. Man, this was a while ago. It was cool at the time. I was just excited to find an MP because I didn't even know about MPs. Like I said, I watched a lot of reviews of the new MP, and for me, I like this. I like this, and it wasn't worth getting that one. To me, you know, each his own, and if you're happy, like I said, there's things I like about this better. There's things I like about the MP better. So if you enjoyed this review, do all the things you need to do on YouTube, and I would appreciate it. So I will get up with you in another video.
Ain't no, life ain't no, life ain't no, life ain't no. As long as you alive, you can give another try and take it real high if you want.